We are going to be talking about the 7 tips to feel energized and refreshed this summer. But as we go through this webinar, I don't want you to worry about takeaways, about handouts, about trying to get all the information down. We're going to send that out to you. Plus, we're going to give you an opportunity to win our summer dosha kit, our seasonal summer dosha kit that helps us keep energized and refreshed over the summer so that we don't feel burnt out and get all hot and bothered. But we can talk more about that later on in the webinar. But just some tips to help you get the most out of this webinar. Just turn everything off that may be operating in the background. That's any email systems. If you're running Skype, turn that off. It takes up a lot of bandwidth. iTunes, any extra programs, because I want you to be able to see everything and not have things slow down for you. And then take this opportunity to turn the cell phone off. You know, even when we just put it on silent mode, it still sort of vibrates and we're sort of attracted to it. So move it to another room, close your door, give yourself this time to discover how to stay balanced and remain cool, calm, and collected this season naturally with Ayurveda, even though we're in a pandemic. And if you're chattering away to us, hoping that we are paying attention to you, we are not. You are muted. We cannot hear you, and that's because we're recording this webinar to be able to send it back out to you so that you have all the information tomorrow. But don't worry, none of your information is going to appear in the final webinar. Even if you've come on video, Rebecca's going to turn off everybody's video so that we can't see you or other people can't see you when it goes out as a recording. The recording link will be provided to you automatically. You should get that tomorrow so that you can watch it again. But let me ask you this. What does the summer season represent to you? And some of you sort of put, you know, hot, hazy, humid, exhausted. But let's talk about seasons, because each season, Ayurveda can help guide you through a year-long process that actually can radically transform your life. Everything we talk about in this webinar is what we do in the summer to keep us ultimately balanced throughout the year. So each season works upon itself. What we do in the summer sets us up for fall. What we do in the fall means we don't dry out in the winter, which means we don't get congested in the spring and have those allergies, which means we don't get all hot and bothered in the summertime. But each season obviously is going to be different from the next. So what's beneficial during one season may not be optimal during another. Everything that we're going to talk about today is here because it helps us in our lives. In fact, this is what I share with all my clients as we go through seasonal consults. And we want to share that information for you so that you can balance yourself in the season and prepare yourself for the next. But don't keep doing what you're going to do in summer and do it in the fall and expect the same results. You'll need to change up for fall. So you know me, Kerry. I run the Holistic Highway. But also in this call to help support you is Lisa, our Ayurveda Wellness Counselor. Say hi, Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. So glad you're here tonight.
And Lisa, as you know, as I said, is our Ayurveda Wellness Counselor. Many of you have already met her. And we have Rebecca, our Marketing Director and Ayurveda Practitioner. Say hi, Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be back with you all again on tonight's webinar.
And Rebecca is coming in from Ireland. She's 5 hours ahead, so it's very late for her. And they're having thunderstorms, so we may hear those in the background. So both Lisa and Rebecca are helping to keep things running smoothly. So lots of help and support from me, from them, as we go through the 7 tips to help or to feel refreshed and energized this summer. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. They'll get to you. But let's make sure you are in the right place tonight. Let's not waste your time. So you're in the right place if you want to know what summer routines are best for you. If you want to feel that you're doing all the best things that you can to be the best version of yourself. And I hear this a lot when I talk to people who are looking to work with me. I'm no longer the best version of myself, or I want to be that best version of myself. And these seasonal routines are one way to get there. And then you're also looking for practical tips on how to stay healthy, cool, calm, and collected over the summertime. So how are we going to do this? I can show you our 7 tips to feel energized and refreshed. But it's interesting though, isn't it? It often takes a major life event or trauma for us to really pay attention to what is going on in our lives. And it's funny how we get these wake-up calls, and often that wake-up call is either a diagnosis or it's a symptom of something else that's happening, and it kind of feels that our bodies are just running away from us. But by being aware and paying attention to what's going on in our lives, especially in our careers, our relationships, our health, and what's going on with ourselves, and by staying connected to the natural cycles of nature, which is why we're talking about seasonal health, then it becomes obvious when you're not in your flow. Have you ever felt that things are just not right? You know something needs to change, but you're not quite sure what it is or how to go about it? Then let me share how we have helped literally hundreds of people have sustained energy through these simple 7 tips. Feel free to add or delete anything that doesn't mesh with you as we go through these. But watch the sneakiness of your mind though. If it's trying to get out of things it doesn't like, just watch for that. Watch for those excuses such as, I'll skip yoga because I'm not very flexible today. Or, I'll just check emails a few more times before bed in case something really important comes in. These 7 tips are going to get you out of some of those habits and offer you a much more different but much more balancing experience. So to understand what we must do in summer, we actually need to go back to spring, because remember I said that each season builds upon itself. And in spring, we're encouraged to let go of anything that no longer serves us, be it old clothes that we don't need anymore, or we're still keeping in the cupboard because we think one day we're going to fit into them, or whether it's books that we've read, or whether it's a certain way of thinking, whether it's relationships that are no longer serving us, or a job that's no longer right for us. Spring is about letting go of what's kept us bogged down and kept us a version of ourselves that we no longer need, that we've outgrown. So after our spring commitment to sort of lighten up and clear out the old, we can then begin summertime with a sense of clarity and a sense of joy. The sun's out. We're ready to play, and playtime, as George Bernard Shaw so simply put it, keeps us young. When we watch kids at play, we can't help but smile, can we? And it's a reminder of our own inner child, to find that light-hearted spirit that, we kind of forget about sometimes. That light-hearted sense of fun and play and being spontaneous is actually what summer is all about. So summer is Pitta time. It's the time when the sun is highest in the sky. You know that. It's also at its brightest. And this coincides with that fiery time of year that we call Pitta time. And Pitta is the one dosha that has inherent heat. But there are other qualities for this time of year. It's light, but it's a penetrating light, isn't it? It's luminous. There's a feeling that heat spreads. We can feel a little bit more oily this time of year. Inflammation can actually increase this time of year. And sometimes Pitta can just go out of control, and Pitta out of control can just be too hot to handle. And what does that look like? Well, it's that bullheaded boss, it's that jealous boyfriend or spouse, or it's you when you say, I've got this inner burning desire to do everything and do it right now. That's a Pitta out of control. So for Pittas, and we're all influenced by Pitta in summertime, more so if Pitta is your predominant dosha, this excess heat of summer means you can burn the midnight oil just at both ends. You can also burn others out too, and leave sort of a smattering of people that care about you, but that just wonder what this tornado was that flew through. You can be a bit of a control freak this time of year. However, Pitta's in balance. They are inspiring leaders. They hold great wisdom. They can light up a room with their charisma. They can move mountains with their strong beliefs and their convictions. So for a Pitta to stay balanced, or for us to all to stay balanced this time of year, we really need to cool it, chill out in every level and in every way. So right now, let's all of us take a deep breath, let it go, and just relax and trust that you do not have to control everything and everyone right now. And try and have a little bit of fun at the end of a 60-hour work week. And that goes for all of us, regardless of whether we have Pitta in us. So summertime is the perfect time to remember what is really important in life. Is it accomplishments or is it relationships? Is it achievements or is it love, love of family, love of connection? Is it ambition or deep connection to your community? You get to decide. But when you find yourself wrestling with sort of achievements and accomplishments and competitiveness and trying to, jump over that next hurdle, and you find yourself in that sort of self-righteous, hot-headed Pitta moment, just get out there and walk in nature. Burn it off so that you can come back cool and clear. So let's look at these 7 tips. Tip number 1, play is not just for kids. This is the time of year to lighten up and have some fun. And how are we going to do that? More relaxed lunches. Have lunch outdoors, more time outdoors, spontaneous playtime, slower activities. These are going to help us cool down and avoid stress. And that all supports a balanced summer routine. It's funny how it is that it's easier to be spontaneous when we have a routine because we're taking care of business. When we consistently take care of ourselves, then there's the time to be spontaneous. Think about those wonderful summer days, of childhood when we were younger. And what does that bring up for you? And summer memories are always tinged with the outdoors, aren't they? The sounds of cicadas, the sweet dry scent of the evening, walks in moonlight, camping under the stars. I grew up camping most weekends. Campfires, sipping summer drinks on the deck. Street fairs, festivals, mangoes, watermelons, peaches, playing in the beach, swimming in the ocean. I mean, the list goes on and on. So there's a huge focus on being out of doors. So I want you to focus on relaxation and by playing, and you can only do that by taking time out to enjoy the warmth and the light and lively but lazy days of summertime. Our second tip, engage in the summer best practice or best summer routine for you. And that's got to be one that's simple, because if it's not simple, you're not going to do it. Believe me, I know. So let's start by shifting your practices to a slightly more relaxed pace. Take a vacation if you can. I know, with the coronavirus and things spiking back up again, it's probably not the best time to take a vacation. But I am talking to many people who are still going camping, or they're renting a cottage in the woods far away from crowds. If you can't do that, then go for a moonlit swim. Eat a mango till it dribbles all over your face. Laugh, play, sleep outdoors. Snorkel, ride a bicycle. These summer daily practices are going to give you the tools to stay balanced and young, and feel young and full of vitality, because that's what play does. So if we can sort of engage in the best summer routine for us, then we will find that downtime to be spontaneous. So let's look at a specific summer routine that's going to work for you. And the first one is to wake up a little earlier. And if your morning mantra is rise and shine, strikes you as the ultimate oxymoron, then you might actually have a little bit to gain from getting up a little bit sort of earlier. But according to Ayurveda, choices that we make regarding our daily routine either build up resistance to disease or can tear us down. So that's why so much emphasis is put on our sort of daily routines. So in Ayurveda, we actually want to get a jump start on the day by focusing on morning rituals that are going to work to align your body with the season, with nature's rhythms, balance your doshas, and also foster some self-esteem alongside some self-discipline too. And adopting just one or more of the following practices that we're going to talk about, do it just for a month, can really radically alter your experience of the day. So don't be surprised if you start sort of viewing mornings in a totally different light after you start getting up a little bit earlier. But do get into the habit of waking up a little earlier by about 15 minutes at a time. So if you're used to getting up, you know, in spring at about 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not just going to suddenly wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, because that's going to shock the system. And we never want to do anything that shocks the system. So if you are waking up at 7, then wake up at 6:45 for a few days, then wake up at 6:30, and then 6:15, and then if you really are an early morning bird, then 6 o'clock in the morning is going to be great. But as always, allow yourself enough time to do your morning practices without feeling tired and without feeling rushed. So our morning cleansing ritual, and for all of us, our morning cleansing routine should look like this. First off, you're going to scrape your tongue. That's going to reduce any undigested ama, or what we call digestive toxins. So how do you scrape your tongue? You can buy a tongue scraper. The stainless steel or copper ones are the best. If you don't have one of those, or not even quite sure what one of those is, then you can get the back of a stainless steel teaspoon and rub that on your tongue to take that white gunk off. The problem with a spoon for some is it can engage that gag reflex, and that's why I prefer tongue scrapers. But this practice really helps stimulate internal organs. It's going to improve digestion by increasing your sense of taste. It's going to remove bacteria from your oral cavity. And we know that oral health is highly correlated to generalized health. Then go ahead and brush your teeth. I bet all of you are doing that. And then you want to start your oil pulling practice. This is our daily swish. It's a herbalized oil that we use inside our mouth, and we just swish it around. It's a really cooling oil, good for summertime, good for Pitta dosha. And oil pulling can really transform your health. And I know it sounds strange to put oil in your mouth, but think about it this way. With the mouth as home to millions of bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other toxins, what the oil does is it acts like a cleanser and literally pulls out these toxins, which is why it's called oil pulling. So you want those toxins removed before they get a chance to spread throughout the body. This is going to free up the immune system. It's going to reduce stress, curtails inflammation, which we can have more this time of year, and it helps with ultimate well-being too. I do it while I'm taking a shower in the morning, and oil pulling has so many benefits. There have been whole books written about the benefits of it, but it is a must-do daily cleansing ritual. And then we're going to drink some warm water with lime and a sprig of mint. And the Ayurveda philosophy believes the first item that you ingest sets the mood for the remainder of the day. So with that thought in mind, drinking a glass of lukewarm water flavored with a fresh slice of lime is going to be really beneficial. And here's the reason why. There are two reasons. The warm water serves to stimulate the gastrointestinal tract and also to maintain peristalsis. That's the wave of muscle contraction that gets everything moving through the digestive system. Secondly, limes are high in minerals and vitamins. They also help loosen ama. That's that digestive toxins. And the reason we really don't want ama around is because ama, which are toxins, create inflammation. Inflammation creates disease. So we want to remove armor or toxins in the digestive tracts, and limes are also cooling. Lemons are heating, so if you're putting lemon juice in your water, great in the fall and winter, not great in the summertime. Now, if you tend to suffer from heartburn or acid reflux, then start your day with a small glass of aloe vera juice. That's going to be what you need to cool that fiery feeling, especially if the barbecue from last night gave you heartburn. So back to a glass of warm water with lime and a sprig of mint. This is going to cool the body. It's going to cool the mind too. It's going to activate your digestion for the day. You can just choose some mint or lime, if you prefer one or the other. But I'm going to caution about iced water, and it is so easy to add ice to everything in the summertime. But warm water is better for hydration and stimulating digestion. Warm water also relieves hiccups, gas and bloating, constipation, whereas ice water is going to make your digestion sluggish over time. And who wants a sluggish digestion? That means weight goes on, elimination gets sluggish, we feel heavy, we feel full, then we're going to just overheat. So warm water, not iced water. And then as part of our daily routine, we're going to next move on to Nasya oil. And Nasya oil just means nose oil. And why on earth would I recommend that you put oil up your nose? Well, it is important that our beloved passageways stay nourished and clean, because we can dry out in the summertime. We're in air conditioning, and when we dry out, the little hairs called cilia that actually trap viruses and bacteria don't work so efficiently. This affects our immune system. When that happens, the body responds by adding mucus, because it's not a good thing to do. So then we get congested, or by drying out, if the body can't add mucus because there's just not enough moisture, then we get those piercing sinus headaches that we can get as well. So Nasya oiling, does feel a little strange if you're not used to it, but shortly after you apply the oil, and all you do is put a couple of drops in each nostril and just sniff up, you're going to feel like a melting across the forehead, and it just feels like all the physical tension is leaving you. Nasya oil is also good for a lot of physical problems too, in the head and neck, like muscle strain, eye strain, tinnitus or ringing in the ears. It also relieves tension in the jaw and in the neck, so really good for TMJ. And many of us carry our tension or our stress in the neck, so we get a lot of neck pain or shoulder pain. Also helps relieve tension in the spine and shoulders, and it strengthens facial bones as well, promotes restful sleep, promotes clarity, that's a sense of focus, can also reduce anxiety, worry, stress, and all that from a few drops of oil in your nose. It's amazing, isn't it? So again, we have a cooling Nasya oil in our Summer Dosha kit that's really nice. I'll share with you how you can sign up to get a complimentary Summer Dosha kit a little bit later on. And then tip number 3, meditate, breathe, and move. And this is part of having a beautiful body and a happy mind too. So this is our 3rd tip. And this is where we can have a problem, isn't it? How many of us just take time out for ourselves? Even if it's just 5 minutes, just time out for us. Where we're not catching up on emails or doing an imaginary shopping list in our head as we meditate, or figuring out what to cook for the kids as you walk the dog. Where is the time just for you? And did you know that breathing just by itself can be a very healing practice? And movement, you're going to love this one. In summer, we actually slow down. We don't move too much. So let's start with looking at meditation. And have you ever heard of laughter meditation? It is so much fun. And as summer is about having fun, I want you to try this. Now, I'd never heard of laughter meditation until I went to a workshop myself. on it. I wasn't quite sure what it was, and I was a little skeptical. I thought, there is no way you're going to get me to laugh in a group of strangers that I don't know. However, within minutes after starting the practice, I was chuckling just a little. And within 10 to 15 minutes, I was just rolling around the floor with tears just streaming down my face. And at the end of it, I felt amazingly calm and lighthearted. So as with any meditation, laughter meditation provides us an opportunity to just slow down and be present. So laughter meditation is an easy and effective way to create balance. And if you've done it, then you likely understand its healing benefits. If you haven't, you may, like me, be a little bit skeptical of its power to improve your mood and sort of awaken your inner child. But before writing it off, though, as an off-the-wall meditation, just take a look at the benefits that laughter meditation can bring to your life. First off, it reduces stress. And when anxiety rears its ugly head, it really does steal joy from your life. Anxiety can hijack all your emotions and sabotage any effort that you've made to live a balanced and just a normal life. And let's face it, there is a lot to be anxious about right now. So there are many ways you can combat anxiety. You can include meditation, exercise, mindfulness, but laughing meditation has actually been shown to decrease stress, depression, and anxiety. Also, it's been shown to increase your quality of life. Laughter actually alters the dopamine and serotonin activity in the brain, so it really does offer a non-invasive and non-pharmacological option to dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression. The second thing that laughter meditation does is it offers an emotional release. Emotions are not meant to stay bottled up. Quite the contrary. The release of emotions is critical to your overall well-being. And in a world where we can just feel hurried, we're rushing around from one commitment to the next, it can be hard, can't it, to create the space to let your emotions come to the surface. Laughter meditation allows you to access those emotions in a really creative way. By focusing on laughing, you're concentrating in the release of major emotions, which can open the door to other emotions coming out, like sadness, anger, and fear. So it's a powerful way to deal with underlying thoughts and feelings that you may not have realized that you have, or have even gone unnoticed. So take a look, see if there's an online class close to you. Unfortunately, we can't bottle laughter meditation for you and put it in our dosha kit. But, find somewhere close by, try it out, see if you can find it, and see if you can tap into that joy that will carry you into other parts of your life this summer. And it's quite easy for me to be continually amazed by the miraculous built-in power of our bodies. We are programmed with all the operating systems that we need to adapt to loads of life situations, and most importantly, for survival. Most of us have no idea about the treasure chest that we have in our own bodies. You can heat yourself up or cool yourself down through simple pranayama practices or breath work. Remember, the nose is the fastest passageway to the mind. So as we regulate our breath, we also regulate our mind, which in turn then regulates our body. Over time, if we breathe fast and shallow like an anxious little bunny rabbit, our body's going to think that we're in a constant state of panic and stress. However, if we take the time each day to breathe slow and deep, our mind can tell the body that all's well, no need for harm, we're doing just fine. That's how powerful breath can be if we use it as a daily therapy. We all have the ability to do it. We can all do this. So in the summertime, we actually advocate using a breath called Shatali breathing. It can literally cool your body temperature. It can even chill heated emotions too. It can pacify hot flashes, hormonal imbalances. It can also make you feel relaxed. And just, you know, if you feel that your fuses are firing up, then this is a really good breath. So let's do it together. I will send you a handout on how to do it, but you're going to roll your tongue like a cigar. Not everybody can do this, and if you can't, there's nothing wrong with you, just genetically you can't do it. So if you can do this, it's going to look like this, just like the model, and then you're just going to breathe in, and then breathe out normally through your nose, and then do that again. Can you feel how cooling that is, that cooling breath? So use it this time of year. If you can't do that, you're going to put your teeth together and breathe in through your teeth. And that too is a very cooling breath. So Shatali breathing, you can cool down just by your breath. And then during the summer months, you may naturally find yourself with more energy as we actually get more prana. This is life force from the strength and vitality of the sun's power. So if you tend towards doing more rather than less, pushing through rather than resting, then a cooling exercise routine is going to be best for you. So this time of year, dance, walk, swim, cycle, stretch. However, we do want to focus on cooler and slower movements that help to prepare the body for the day without over-exertion. So an Ayurveda philosophy for exercise is to exercise to half your capacity, which means you break a sweat and then you're done. No need to get into intense training for your self-care practice unless you're an athlete in training. But even then, your summer workouts should still be cooler and slower. So take your walks in the evening under the cooling moonlight, or first thing in the morning when it's cooler. Anything that involves water is going to be really cooling. Go paddle, swim, paddleboard, kayak, or just gaze at a cool stream. It's all very cooling. And it's interesting because it's normally Pittas that would say, I just have to live by water. And that kind of makes sense. Having fire as one of your elements, water is going to be highly cooling for you. And an Ayurveda yoga practice in the summer season is going to bring balance by focusing also on relaxing, cooling, and calming your energy. So a yoga practice needs to be very effortless, absolutely non-competitive approach. We want to use slow and steady movements as well as lots of stillness. We actually want to accentuate the importance of non-doing, or better known as being. So in practice, well, in summer, our practice then should be the art of being and not doing. So no power yoga, no Ashtanga yoga or power vinyasas in the summer, no hot yoga either, even though I know it's really popular right now. And it makes sense that this time of year we want to focus on cooling and non-exertion poses so that you don't overheat. Did you know that the home site of Pitta is actually in the small intestines? So therefore, yoga postures that massage and sort of focus on and draw attention to things like twists and very slow, steady movements are going to cool an overheated Pitta. So if you find yourself being irritated easily or yelling like a mad woman at the mailman or yelling at other drivers as you're driving, then follow the summer yoga class that I'm going to send out to you. Has lots of twists in it, and twists are some of the best postures to pacify sort of an overheated and intense Pitta. As are also postures that stimulate the liver, detoxify the blood, because then we overheat, cleanse the mind, reminding Pittas in our yoga practice that all is right, all is perfect, just as it is. So the practice I'll send out to you is about short, it's really succinct, it's short, can be done in about 20 minutes. So it's not a major thing. We don't want it to be a major thing for you and for you to overheat. And then our fourth tip, skincare is sexy. The sun brings warmth and heat, we know that. that kind of sort of melts away inhibitions and stiffness and heaviness in the body. So summer is full of sweet fruits that can be used as masks for your face, tonics and scrubs. Our skin in the summertime is in need of protection from the drying rays of the sun, as well as nourishment to keep it moist, supple and toned. Toes and feet are out and about right now after sort of being in socks in the spring. And after the spring season, when we've detoxified our liver and blood, we should actually find that our skin is glowing with health after spring. So keeping it that way is the prime focus for summer. So watermelon, for example, makes a fantastic mask for all skin types because, of course, it's 93% water. It's loaded with vitamins such as A, B6, and C. This nourishes, hydrates, and also repairs your skin from any kind of sun damage, and also guards against blemishes, which tends to be a Pitta problem. You can cool and beautify your eyes with a cucumber compress sprayed lightly with rose water. I encourage you to wash your eyes weekly with cool, fresh, filtered water. Consider using apricot or coconut oil to thicken and add gloss to your eyelashes and eyebrows rather than mascara, eyeliner, and eyebrow pencils. Drop a small amount of oil into your fingertips and just gently oil your lashes in an upward motion. And of course, the best beauty tip is a good night's rest. Avoid going to bed after 11 o'clock at night. That's going to be the best way to keep your eyes really sparkly and to restore the body. In the summertime, with its longer days, it's more tempting to stay up later and get into that fiery Pitta time of night. That's between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. If we get into that Pitta time of night and we don't go to bed until sort of midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, that's going to lead to burnout, exhaustion, puffy red eyes. So let's look at some simple self-care practices that are going to leave your skin feeling really good. One of them is our Happy Summer Facial Polish, and it does make sense that we should change our skincare according to the seasons. That what our skin needs in the dry cold of winter is not what it needs in the heating season of summer. And one of my favorite products is our Summer Facial Polish. It's a combination of basmati rice, rose petals, coconut, and mint, and it's all carefully ground into a powder. It's used as a cooling but hydrating cleansing powder that you add to coconut or rose water and make it into a thick paste, put it on your skin. It's really cooling, it's nutrient rich, and what's really nice is there's no chemicals in it, and your skin's gonna love you for not putting chemicals on it. So it's gonna glow. It doesn't tend to glow when we're using products that have chemicals in them. So it's a great way to move the dirt and grime and the heat and oil of the day off your skin by using this cleansing powder, our Happy Summer Facial Polish. And then I'd love to share this weekly face mask, as it's going to keep your skin bright, cool, glowing. It's going to protect it from those oily blemishes and the harsh rays of the sun. And with the facial slushy, you can just mix half a cup of watermelon pulp, and watermelons are abundant right now. Add like a tablespoonful of aloe vera gel with it. Add it to a little bit of yogurt, put a couple of drops of geranium essential oil and rose essential oils, and then just mix it all up, apply it to your face generously, and then just let this cooling but regenerative summer fruits go ahead and do their work. This is the time, go lie on your hammock, go on your deck, find a cool place inside. Just leave that slushy on your face for 10 to 15 minutes. Wash it off with cool water and just see how much your skin is glowing. And then I love our summer hydrosol. I use mine every day, several times during the day. It's cooling and calming as well. I spray it on my sheets before bed so that they feel cool. I have a lot of Pitta in me, so I can overheat at nighttime. I spray it in my shower. I mist it over my body before I get dressed to keep me cool throughout the day. And our summer mister comes in our summer dosha kit, and it's made with rose water, which is very cooling. It also has some wonderful cooling essential oils like rose and geranium in it too. It's also good as a yoga mat spray, and I spray my clothes with it before I put them in the dryer or put them outside. And then my clothes have a faint hint of summer flowers. So hydrosols or misters are really a must in summertime because they really do help. And then self-massage, one of the best self-care techniques that you can do for you during the day. And I'm going to encourage you to self-massage with coconut oil this time of year because that's going to cool, nourish, and protect your skin. And a regular self-massage practice relaxes the nervous system. It's going to move impurities from the blood. It feeds the tissues of the body. And just doing this just 3 times a week, if you don't think you have time to do this daily, is going to bring lasting lifetime results. Our summer dosha oil that is part of our summer dosha kit is a mixture of cooling Ayurveda herbs, cooling oils, and cooling but rejuvenative essential oils too. So self-massage, or what we call abhyanga, is actually one of the must-do daily routines. And the benefits are huge in terms of lowering intensity, reducing anxiety, reducing stress. If you're not sure how to do a self-massage, we'll send a flyer out to you that walks you through how to do this every step of the way. But I really recommend this. And then I want you to shower with an all-natural, gentle herbal soap. That's going to make you feel alive. It's going to bring vibrancy to your skin. Again, don't use chemicals which tend to block the pores and can make skin dull looking. I like sandalwood soaps. As sandalwood is very cooling, as are all the mints, peppermint, spearmint, and any of the summer flowers like rose, lavender, geranium. These summer flowers are cooling. And once again, nature gives us what we need in the right seasons. All summer flowers are cooling, as is fennel, if you want a sort of a soapy smell that's also cooling, but a little spicier than flowery. I also like basil, or basil, as you said, and thyme in my soaps. They are also cooling and hydrating as well. And still going with our daily self-care practice, anoint yourself with aromatic, sweet, and cooling essential oils. You can choose from mint, sandalwood, rose, jasmine, geranium. We talked about some of them, bergamot, lavender. You can add these essential oils to your bath water, add them to a base oil like almond oil or coconut oil, add it to some distilled water, and there you've got your own hydrosol or mister. One treat that I do for myself every now and then is I'll add a couple of drops of mint essential oil to 2 drops of lime essential oil. I'll add that to some water and a 1/4 cup of rose water. And then I put those in an ice tray and stick it in the freezer. I take one out, you know, anytime I feel hot and bothered, or I'm just sitting out in the sun, and it's really, really cooling. It's a great skin refresher. Aromatic baths in the summer are excellent for the endocrine and adrenal systems, and you can use aromatic oils there, and for restoring the body and mind. So don't forget about bathing in the summertime. And also helps with burnout arising from just doing too much, which Pittas tend to do. So let's look at our 5th tip, looking at our summer food practices. And everything seems so much brighter in the summertime, doesn't it? The colors are much more intense, they're much more vibrant, fruits are juicy and sweet, or hopefully, and there's a playful mood in the air, or I'm hoping there is for you. As our digestion is actually stronger in the winter time to keep our core warm, it is weaker in the summertime as our Agni, or our digestive fire, is dispersed from where it's needed in our digestion to the skin to make us sweat. That helps us cool down. So it's a hot season, we know that, and our food practices for this season have to be cool, light, and easy. We also want to maintain balance and be sure not to accumulate toxins in the body by dousing that digestive fire with icy drinks. I said no ice, and 2 cold foods. So understanding and applying this concept is the balance of Ayurveda in this season. And it's our guide, if you like, to sort of an easy breezy summer then. But let's look at what happens to your body and mind in the summer. After spring, the body can sometimes be a little phlegmy and congested if we've not observed our spring cleansing rituals and our daily routines. That then results in early summer colds, which make us feel heavy in the body. We get congestion in our lungs and our upper respiratory system. And this accumulation of kapha from spring mixed with the summer heat is going to make us feel really uncomfortable. We're going to have swelling, excess heat, and excess sweating. So if this excess water element that's left over from spring is not cleared up, then it can aggravate the fire and heat in the body, and it's going to start to show signs of imbalance through the skin. This is where we then see skin rashes, irritation, heartburn, inflammation, acne, rosacea, and other heat, water related conditions. So the focus on summer is to keep the body cool, the mind calm, and the taste to focus on to do that at this time of year are bitter, sweet, and astringent. Where can you find these foods? Well, watch for foods at your local market for clues to your seasonal diet. The summer fare abounds, doesn't it, in bitter salad greens, bright yellow squash, zucchini, cooling cucumbers, fresh herbs and spices, lighter grains this time of year, basmati rice, couscous, barley, tapioca, they're all abundant, as well as good old-fashioned corn on the cob, which should not be ignored either. Corn is heating and drying though, so not ideal for pittas. But if you add a lot of ghee and eat it with a combination of sort of a fresh green salad, then it's a treat on a hot summer's evening for everybody. But in summer, we need to avoid hot, heavy, oily foods. What they do is they're going to heat up the blood. They're going to cause some skin conditions, heat rashes, acid digestion, acid reflux, and inflammation. So we want to avoid spicy, pungent foods, no chilies, no dry ginger, no excess black pepper. Summer burnout and overheating is aggravated by foods and drinks that create acid and heat in the cardiovascular system. And we don't want you to burn out in the summertime. So we want to focus on cooling tonics and teas. So sort of sweet, bitter, and cooling tonics are going to be relaxing. They're going to be delicious. They're going to sustain the body and mind. So things like peppermint tea, lavender, rose, fennel, coriander, chamomile, saffron. I just made a saffron lemonade the other day. It was delicious. You can also, this time of year, blend a load of fruits together. You can put together juicy fruits like mangoes with bananas, hemp seeds, and coconut milk, or you can blend a little bit of watermelon and coconut water and some fresh ginger juice. These are all really nice. But to really start your day off right, if you have a tendency towards any heating conditions or symptoms, especially heartburn or hot flashes, then we're going to go back to that aloe vera juice in the morning before breakfast, as that's going to cool the system, lubricate all those mucous membranes as well. So it's a good segue into me having my drink. This is actually water with lime juice and mint, which is very cooling. So let's look at specific meals. So for breakfast, sweet, light grains, basmati rice with coconut milk would be a wonderful breakfast, sprinkled with a little bit of saffron or fennel. Sweet fruits that you can have as a fruit salad. You can put a sprinkle of ground fennel or a little bit of mint or a squeeze of lime juice. That's a refreshing breakfast. You can also experiment with other seasonal grains. You can try some scrambled eggs with avocado and cucumber on toast. You could meld together some bananas and coconut water and berries. That makes a good morning booster. I'll send you out the recipe for that. I actually made that for myself this morning, and it was really delicious and nourishing. And lunch, this is best as your main meal of the day, as digestion is at its prime between noon and 2 in the afternoon. So like broths, raw salads with a variety of veggies and greens and chickpeas, they're delicious. So are summer greens, summer grains, and some beans. Very small portions of animal proteins this time of year. That's going to have us feeling good. It's harder to digest animal proteins. And just to remind you, our digestion is not as strong in the summertime as it is in the wintertime. But all the foods I have mentioned make up a great lunch. And if you struggle with what to eat and when for you, then we have a great meal plan. I offer a 2-week free trial just as you can try it out and see if it's right for you. It's 5 new recipes each week that are designed for your dosha and the season. So right now it's our summer meal menus. Each meal plan comes with a shopping list. That way you can just get all the right food over the weekend and just know that you're eating the right foods for you throughout the week. And for now, they're all going to be cooling foods, cooling meals. And then dinner time, this needs to be a lighter meal, taken at least 3 hours before bedtime. We can have soups, grains, small portions of animal products again, and you can do a rotating variety of veggies. But simplicity is key for your evening meal. You want to focus on the bitter, sweet, and astringent taste, and eat slowly. Enjoy every bite. Also, offer gratitude before each meal. You'll be surprised how that actually helps with digestion. So take the time to eat mindfully. How does your food taste? Is it pleasurable? Does it smell good? Is it nourishing for you? Do you feel that it's the right food for you? Food is meant to be pleasurable, and there's no greater act of self-care than preparing and eating nourishing food that's right for you. Your body will love you for it and show it by having clear skin, stable moods. You'll have good digestion and a feeling of contentment, even joy. All this from eating right for you in the right season that you're in. And I want to focus on some of my favorite foods in the summertime, or our favorite foods. And the first one is ghee. And ghee is one of the most pure and harmonizing foods for your body. Making your own batch of it gives you, it's almost like a peaceful meditation as you do it. The process of making ghee is very therapeutic. As well as it's a magical fat for cooking. It's great for transporting herbs and healing foods into your system. We can even use it as a topical moisturizer as well. So ghee is good for all doshas in the summertime. It is a specific tonic for Pitta. So Pittas load up on ghee. Take at least 1 tablespoonful a day in your food, and that's going to result in a beautiful, healthy skin, hair, and nails. Ghee is also a natural prebiotic, which means it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which means they can then proliferate. So it's truly an Ayurveda superfood. It keeps indefinitely without refrigeration, as the water element that causes butter to spoil has been removed in the process of cooking the ghee. And people often feel very strange about that they often turn around to me and say, I must refrigerate this because we're so used to refrigerating butter, but really you don't have to. You can buy ghee now almost in every grocery store. I'm seeing it everywhere. but I would recommend you make it yourself. It tastes so much better when you make it yourself, and it is so much cheaper as well. It's really easy to do. It sounds complicated. You just boil ghee, boil the water off, filter it into a jar, and it's done. But I'll send you a video on how to make that. So if you feel like it this weekend, you can go ahead and do that. And then if sleep is a problem for you, especially in the summertime, and did you know that 48% of Americans can't sleep? They either can't get to sleep or they can't stay asleep. And if you have a lot of Pitta in you, they tend to rev up at night, or you could easily rev up at night, and often need help sleeping. So if that's you, then you can make this sleepy time tea. That way you'll get a really wonderful and revitalizing night's sleep. How to make this: you want to take 3 to 5 strands of saffron. You're going to add that to 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric, so anti-inflammatory and cooling, and you're going to add it to a 1/4 cup of warm milk. It can be a nut milk or dairy, depending on what you're able to do. But you're not going to heat it. The milk's already warmed. You're just going to stir it in already the warm milk. So don't heat it anymore. Allow it to cool and then drink it. If you want to add some sweetener, you can. Raw cane sugar is excellent. But turmeric and saffron are both excellent purifying tonics for the blood and for the liver. And these are controlled by Pitta. This is where that heating feeling and hot flashes come from. So this drink will not only help you sleep, but it's going to help you stay cool at the same time as well. And then we do have a 7-day easy, juicy summer cleanse. So why on earth would we do a summer cleanse? When the heat of the summer sets in, Pitta dosha in all of us becomes vulnerable, and then we get various health issues. So flushing the liver and blood in the hot months by following a cooling and reducing diet is going to help keep your body balanced and help it in really good health. Because when Pitta goes out of balance, that's going to show up as infections, inflammation, hyperacidity, bad breath, and a very strong body odor and excessive sweating. As your complexion is also a reflection of your inner health, then you can get acne, skin rashes, breakouts, skin inflammation. That also indicates to any of us who deal in Ayurveda that there's toxic overload in the system. So to prevent these symptoms, give your digestion a break and help it lighten up. A summer cleanse is a lot of fun to do. It's delicious as well. It includes lots of fresh fruit and veggies, juicing, smoothies made from nutrient-rich nuts and seeds and berries. There's some super salads as well. These have cardio-protective and antioxidant-rich oils in them, like olive and avocado. There's flax oils, there's coconut oil dressings. So including a summer cleanse is going to give you lots of energy, as well as clarity and focus, and it's just going to lighten up your body and mind. So a 7-day summer cleanse could be just the thing you need to do to glow in this season. In Ayurveda, it is said that in 7 days, we can turn our health around. So try it. I'll send it out for you so that you have it. And then our 6th tip, unplug. Take some quiet time each day just for you. That's distraction-free time. Use this time to meditate, to journal, to pray, chant, write poetry, but choose an activity that sort of integrates your day and brings you a really good restful night's sleep. We seem to be wedded to the very technology that's designed to make life better for us. And whilst I love technology, and I'm in no ways suggesting we don't use it, after all, we're doing an online webinar right now. You know, it's kind of invasive too, though, isn't it? It just kind of sort of takes over. And before we know it, we're checking in first thing in the morning. We're checking in one last time before we go to sleep. And it's interesting that the University of Maryland did a study where researchers found that when people took a break from technology, they reported an improvement in their quality of life. It's also been proven through many studies that unplugging after work helps you recharge. helps you lower stress, and even sleep better as well. Did you know that here in the US, 44% of people sleep with their phones by their bed? They're worried they're going to miss a message, an important message. That means almost half the population are on some kind of alert system, just waiting to hear the ping or the buzz or the vibration of the phone. So no wonder half of all Americans don't sleep well. Insomnia is a huge issue in this country, and there are myriads of drugs and supplements to help combat that problem. One very simple non-pharmaceutical approach could be just to unplug. It is that simple. Not necessarily easy, I grant you that, but it is simple. So if sleep or anxiety or fatigue are problems for you, then just try unplugging at night just for this week and see how you feel. That's the best way to know. And then our last tip, my last summer tip, napping. Generally, it is wise to avoid sleeping in the day as it can interfere with our sleep-wake cycle. However, in summertime though, a short 10-minute late afternoon nap in a hammock or a lounger or porch swing is absolutely wonderful. It's also incredibly restorative and rejuvenative this time of year. So try it this weekend. I think you'll feel so much more energized if you just take a 10-15-minute nap, but no longer than that. So back to the big picture of summertime. In summer, it's the season to engage in playfulness, in silliness, in spontaneity. And you can do that by following the tips that I have just gone over with you, because after all, summer is here. We know that. And as I said, I would tell you about our summer dosha kit and how to get a free one. So we put together some of our great summer products. We do this for each season because it makes sense. Each season needs something a little bit different. And these are the very same things that we use throughout the season. So I'll be giving away a summer seasonal dosha kit to one of you. And everything in this seasonal dosha kit is good for cooling you down over the summer. It's also right for your dosha too. So we do need to know what your dosha is, as each kit is personalized to whatever your dosha is, taking into account the effect of summer or Pitta season, which, as we know, is very heating. So think of it as your summer balancing kit. And it comes with a cooling body oil, a mister, a facial shield to protect you from the sun, and a facial serum that's nourishing and cooling as well. We can get breakouts this time of year, and these facial oils help with that. I also have a Nasya oil, a cooling antibacterial oral swish to keep you cool. It's everything that you need in the summer season to help you stay cool, calm, and collected, no matter what the temperature says. So however, though, each one of you that's on the call today has your own health story. And that I can't hear about in a webinar, even though I can help guide you what is right for the summer season. And our team has come up with all the things that we can give you to help you during this crazy summer. I can't personalize what is right for you and also determine why you may be having some of the health challenges that you might be. And that's because there is no one size fit that fits all. There's no one drug that suits all people. There's no one nutritional program that suits all people. There's no one diet that suits all people, or even supplement, or even Ayurveda supplement that's going to suit everybody, because you are unique. And that's why we developed our personalized programs, because if we work one-on-one with you, we can personalize and we can get to know you and your health challenges. So here's how our programs work on a personalized level. When we work one-on-one, we do it in a very customized way by creating personalized wellness plans that meet your specific health needs based upon understanding who you are So we have to go very deep into who you are, your bio-individuality, if you like. And we need to do this by exploring all aspects of what makes you, you. Now, in our programs too, we do include genetic testing. That way, we can get to know you right down to that molecular level. And then this knowledge is combined with the information from an Ayurveda consultation. That way, we can create a really comprehensive wellness plan that meets your specific health needs. So, for example, are you eating the right foods in this season? Are you adjusting for the season and going to bed at the right time? Are you getting up at the right time? You know, and we talked about exercise. Are you doing the right exercises to get the best results for your particular dosha? And then that results in a customized wellness plan that is based upon an Ayurveda diagnosis of all your symptoms and imbalances, combined also with the knowledge from your genetic makeup. We end up with this really multifaceted plan that's broken down into exercise support, lifestyle support, herbal support, stress support, even mental health support. So I will tell you what to eat for your body type and goals, when to sleep, how to exercise. Everything is tailored to you personally. Ayurveda in Sanskrit means the science of life or the science of longevity. So it really is a blueprint for how to live the rest of your life with health and vitality. And that's what we want for you. So here's what I'd like to do. Let's schedule a time for us to chat and go much deeper into who you are and what you may be struggling with. So if you attended the webinar live tonight, you'll be getting an email shortly with a link where you can schedule a complimentary consultation with me. Let's talk about what's going on with you, which we can't do in a webinar. But also go ahead and enter the draw to win a free kit. I ask that you take a picture of yourself getting it, and we're getting pictures back from lots of people, and it's a lot of fun to get those. But remember, this competition is only open to those who attended live, and entries will close tomorrow at 5. We'll also be sending you tonight's recording and a number of helpful follow-up resources, all those things that I said, yep, we'll send it out, That will come out to you. So it was great to spend this time with you tonight, and I want to thank you for helping us guide you just a little in this trying time, no matter where you are in the world today. It has been our pleasure in helping guide you so that you can put into practice these 7 tips to feel energized and refreshed this summer. And I want to open up for the last sort of few minutes for any questions that you may have.
And just to quickly interrupt, if anybody does have a question, just unmute your line or put it in the chat box.
I'm looking at the chat. Any questions? What's a good non-dairy substitute for yogurt? Yes, coconut cream. I just got some more coconut yogurt. I actually made a dip with it just the other day, but I thought then that would be perfect. So you can buy that in the health food section of most grocery stores now. Would Nastia be a good idea if we have to wear masks for work? I don't think it has any effect, but I tell you what, I'm talking to a lot of people who are getting skin irritation from wearing masks. And I think the facial serum is really helping with that. But I don't think the Nastia is going to affect it one way or the other, whether you're wearing a mask. How long do you oil pull? Great question. However long is right for you. I would much rather you did it for 5 minutes, because you could comfortably do it for 5 minutes, than say 20 minutes is good and you never do it because it's too long. Even 5 minutes has a good effect. If you're doing it every day, 5 minutes is good. If you want to just do it once or twice a week, then probably a little bit longer to really pull those toxins out. It is really a daily practice. I'm probably not in the shower longer than 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, I think I'd lower the water level. So I can't think that I do it longer than 5 minutes each day. Just looking to hear if there's any other, just going through the chat right now.
It looks like, Carrie, there's one more question. What should we use for oil pulling? Does it matter what type of oil I use?
That is a great question, and one we often get. So normally for oil pulling, we can use sesame oil or coconut oil. Sesame oil is heating, but sesame oil is very antibacterial, which is nice. Sesame oil has a tightening effect, which means it tightens the gums around the teeth to stop things like gingivitis. So a lot of benefits from sesame oil. But we are in a heating time of year. So then we tend to move more towards coconut oil. Coconut is cooling, so that's great, but it doesn't have the antibacterial effect. So both should be used. So in our oral swish, in our Samadosha kit, we actually use a combination of both so that you get the antibacterial effect of sesame oil, but also the cooling effect of the coconut oil. And also we have cooling essential oils in there like fennel to also help as well. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Any other questions? All right.
Wants to know if you recommend heating the self-massage oil in the summertime.
Oh, that is another great question. So for vatas, if you have a lot of vata in you, it is always good to put a warmed oil on you, even in summertime. Pittas are going to run from that, so they probably don't need their oil warmed right now. Kaphas are probably not oiling this time of year because they're already oily enough. They probably don't feel much like oiling this time of year. So does that help? Hopefully it does. Yes. All right, then it looks like we are done with the questions. Thank you, and remember, we'll be doing another webinar next month as well. It's a way to sort of get information out to you, to get to meet you, and hopefully have you become part of our family here at the Holistic Highway. So take care, and hopefully I'll talk with you soon. Bye now.